How did you meet Sean Price?
Sean P. Hey, Sean P. I don't remember the first time I met him, but I will say I believe the first person I met from boot camp was probably 5FT from Black Moon. I think I met Five first, because Five was in my hood. So I used to always see Five on Nostrand. You know what I'm saying? I used to always see Five on Nostrand, and we used to always chop it up. And then most of them was from the Ville, but Five was in the style. And Check from the style too. Check was from the style too. But most of boot camp was from Brownsville. You know, Buck from like Crown Heights or whatever. But I think I met 5FT first, you know what I mean? And then just building a rapport, hanging out, whatever. And then I linked up with the rest of the team, including Sean P. And I was running up under them like I did a lot of the street team stuff with them. You know, I was little homie, man. I was a little homie. Whatever it was that needed to be done, I was rocking with him, man. You know what I'm saying? And Sean P, we just, for whatever reason, hit it off. We hit it off, man. I think what I think it was is probably the sense of humor. Cause you know, obviously, you know, dudes are definitely from where they're from, and it's definitely a street aesthetic to it. But as Sean Price evolved into the Sean Price recording artist, you know, not Ruck, but Sean P, the recording artist, like you see like a lot of the sense of humor, even though he was definitely him, definitely Brownsville, definitely a real one, but the sense of humor permeates through so much of what he does. And I think probably that might have been what made us gravitate towards each other, was probably the sense of humor that just like, oh, you a jerk, like I'm a jerk. All right, cool. We're friends. You know what I'm saying? Because Ruck was every time, like hanging out with him was like, and I mean this in the best way. It's like you don't realize how fucking hilarious this dude is. This dude is a fucking comedian. So like he always has witty banter, always has a snappy comeback, always has something slick to say. I mean, you can tell it's through his bar work. You hear what he says in his bars. So that's probably what made us, gravitate towards each other. And then one time, I remember the first time he said I was his friend, and I was like, oh shit, I'm his friend. Wow. I was like, oh, he thinks I'm his friend. That's cool. Like, I'm Sean Price's friend. I remember we was at an event, and it was most of boot camp was there, and some of my other guys was around. And one of my guys that used to DJ back in the day was DJing this event. And I think somebody stole something from him or something. And I think he might have thought it was somebody that was with the camp. I'm not sure if that was what it actually was, because like I said, this is years after the fact. But we ended up being a confrontation conversation. It wasn't nothing physical, nothing crazy, but it was like you know what I mean? So my man standing up for himself, like, yo, you know, trying to see who got his shit or where his shit is at, you know what I'm saying? And he stood up, and then Ruck made it his business to be like, yo, nah, he wrote with my friend, yo. If anybody did something, yo, that's my friend. And he kept saying, and I was like, yo, you said I'm his friend like 3 times. I was like, oh shit, I'm his friend. I'm like, yeah, I should have got his shirt. Like, I'm Sean P's friend. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But Ruck showed us a lot, man. And it's just so ill to watch his progression from the Helter Skelter to the not breakup, but you know, going solo, Rock getting his deal, and then him rebranding himself as Sean Price and coming back out to the forefront. And I was around for the whole ride, man. Like, we used to a lot of times when he was I guess down or whatever have you. But you know, people don't understand, man. Hip hop artists, yo, mental health is real, bro. A lot of people suffer from deep depression. And I recommend, if you can do it, get somebody to talk to, because that shit festers, and A lot of horrible things could happen. So, yeah, man, he just always was, he was just always there, bro. And I used to tell him, like, when Rock was solo and he was kind of like trying to figure out what he was trying to do, I would always give him the confidence boosters. I'm like, yo, fam, like, you Rock, bro, you Sean P, nigga, like, like, don't sit around moping, nigga. Let's, nigga, put some work in, nigga, record some joints. Like, I used to always be like, just pushing him, like, yo, son, stop playing, stop playing, stop playing, stop playing. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, so if he didn't want to do shit, sometimes my cousin would go pick him up. Now we go to the crib. We go to the crib, boom, pick him up. Yo, go to school, boom. Sometimes motherfuckers would just take him, like, yo, go, go. We would always, you know, help push him to what he felt he could be. And you saw what he did, man, when he flipped the switch. You know what I mean? And the whole monkey balls and all of that good stuff came out. Some people didn't even realize that was the guy from Helter Skelter. You know what I mean? So it's just dope being a part of that in any minuscule fashion, just being around, watching them come up and fall. I'm glad that I was just around in any capacity with the Sean P, with the Sean P story. You know what I mean? Shout to Burn, shout to all the kids and all that, shout to little Shawnee P. You know, but that's my brother, man. That's my brother. Like, that's my brother for real, yo. We trade sneakers, trade clothes. Like, that's my man. He's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So, all Peter the bro, man. Love you, bro.
What was your reaction when you found out that he had passed away?
Yo, when Rock died, that shit was absurd, bro. I'll tell you exactly what happened. Well, from my perspective. It happened on a year anniversary. It was 2015. A lot of shit that's just wild about that shit. Let me get it together. What happened? 2015. It was a year anniversary of what happened? St. Louis was Mike Brown. There was so many, there's so many black men that got,
right.
You know, but it was the Mike Brown situation with St. Louis, correct?
Let me Google it real quick.
Okay.
Because it's hard to remember everyone.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's so many. So
Mike Brown was Ferguson, Missouri.
Ferguson, yeah, St. Louis, Ferguson.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And that was 2014, correct?
No, I think it's 2015.
Okay. No. Well, it happened 2014. Okay, anyway, this is what happened. Right. I was with a mortal technique, my brother, and we were heading to St. Louis to do an event for Mike Brown. I think it was like a year anniversary or something like that. So just so happens we're catching a flight to St. Louis that morning, whatever date it was that Ruff passed away. And ironically, it was almost 2 months to the date after PH passed away. To the date. It is crazy because Ruff is the one that announced to the public that PH died. And then 2 months later, they both gone, which is still wild to me to think of. Now, we were at the airport, whatever one, JFK LaGuardia, I can't remember which one. We board the flight. It's the morning. It's morning. We board the flight. Something happened on the plane. They made us deplane. So we deplane. We're sitting around in the airport terminal, whatever. We get back on the flight. We board another plane. As I get on the plane, I'm sitting down, got a window seat, chilling. I get a call from one of my good friends. And she was like, yo, Sean Price, that's your man, right? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yo, I go get into what she does, but she knew. She was like, I don't think he's here anymore. I think he died. Blah, blah, blah. She's giving me the details. I'm like, how do you know? I gonna get into that here. That's her business. So she's like, nah, she's breaking shit down. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, she's telling me what happened, and I'm on and if if the plane was if we had issues on the first flight, I wouldn't have got the news. I'd have landed and I would have got the news. But just because we had the issue on the flight, I get the news. I was able to get the news before we took off. So anyway, she's telling me, she was like, yo, yeah, and she's giving me the detail. I'm like, what? And keep in mind, I'm still reeling from PH. We 2 months off of PH. And I'm a few months off of my brother JR passing away. So we just getting hit. So when she tells me, I'm like, all right, well, I'm about to take off. I'm gonna talk to you later. Thanks for the news. So I hung up the phone. And then the first thing I did, I went to go check Burn, see what Burn talking about. And then I went to one of her pages and I saw she didn't make the announcement, but she said something that kind of co-signed what my homegirl had said. And I'm like, fuck, this nigga Buck is dead. So of course, I'm on a fucking plane though. Like I can't do it. I can't get off. So it was the worst place to get the news. So I'm sitting in the window next to 2 motherfuckers I don't know. I'm just sitting there in this exit row, just like, and I'm like, I can't even. And this nigga Technique, the motor Technique is like 2 rows behind. He's 2 rows behind me. So I can't even be like, yo, son. So I text him. I'm like, yo, son, yo, Ruck dead, bro. The next thing I know, I heard, boom, boom. This nigga's punching the ceiling. And I'm like, yo, he gonna get us arrested. Hey, he goes playing, relax. So he punched this shit, boom, boom. So now I'm like, fuck, now I'm flying like with this shit, like, yo, my nigga just died. After my nigga just died. So I'm going with all this in my mind. We landed in St. Louis. So to keep in mind, we landed in St. Louis. We're not going to a fucking show where it's all happy and cool and hip hop. You don't stop. We're going to a fucking protest for Mike Brown. So we're going to hostile territory. So this just wasn't good at all. So it's like, I'm getting news my nigga died. I'm still mourning my other niggas. It's literally just happening. So I'm touching down, and there's other people out there that I'm gonna have to spread the news to. Cause like Talib was out there, a few of my guys was out there. I think Emmett Stick was out there, that president was out there. So like all of my Brooklyn guys, like I had to, we gotta let motherfuckers know. So it's like now I'm just holding this and flying to St. Louis. And now, like I said, I'm flying to St. Louis, not to be festive. We're going to freaking protest, power to the people type shit. Man, so that day was so many emotions. And to be out there, and we're walking around and we're doing a protest, and we getting threatened by the military. Like, they're like, I'm like, yo, bro, we're citizens, bro. Like, how is this like, I've never, like, we're walking and it's like, tanks and military weapons, like, and they trained them on us for protesting Mike Brown. Like it was absurd, bro. So I'm going through all these emotions all at the same time. So my mind was about to explode, son. I ain't gonna hold you. That was a heavy day emotionally. But we made it through, man, and that's what happened, man. That day was crazy though. The day Ruck died was crazy because all of that happened the same day. The Mike Brown shit, the military, like it was just a day, highly emotional day, one of the most emotional days I ever had in my life. Yeah.
What is your favorite memory with Sean?
It's hard to say that. Like when it's your man's. It's just like, yo, we was just existing, bro. It's just like when people ask me, yo, like a lot of the young kids, like a lot of the younger dudes ask me, yo, how was it doing songs with MF Doom? Like, it was cool. We was cool. Like it wasn't like when I did it, like, oh my God, this stuff like that was my man, we did what we did. Ruck, like I said, it was always jokes with Ruck. I remember one time we went to the crib. I brought my brother DJ Static over to the crib to play him some beats. You know what I'm saying? I went to his crib to play him some beats. We went to go get some Chinese. We in the Ville. We in Brownsville and shit. We go to the Chinese restaurant. Shit, whatever. Go pick up some grub and shit, whatever. Go to the crib, pull up to the apartment. And, so we go in the apartment, you know what I mean? And we go to the living room. Yo, come in the living room. So we go in the living room. So Ruck had like this coffee table and shit. You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, put the shit on the table. So whatever. So we go. got the bag. Yo, so motherfucker dropped the shit on the table. Yo, bro, there's no glass on the table. Hits the and this nigga just starts dying. I'm like, yo, why the fuck you want? But Ruck is a fucking that was Ruck, bro. That was Ruck. So it was always dumb shit like that, man. It was always dumb shit like that. Like I miss him, man. Like he's just laughing and shit. I'm like, yo, son, like all this shit just all this shit just smell like a man. He's like, but it was just dumb shit like that. It was just it was always jokes. It was always entertainment. You know what I'm saying? He used to always say he had his little horrible quality ass spot radio, bro. This shit was the trashiest quality of sound. But he used to always like play like, yo, listen to this, listen to this. I'm like, yo, bro, like, how on that? Like, he would always play stuff on like on these horrible ass speakers and shit. But yeah, man, that's my brother, man. That's the big bro. That's Sean P, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the trig. That's the big trig, man. Shouts to Rock. You know what I'm saying? Shout to everybody, man. Shout to Burrow. That's my brother, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace.